And we're okay now. I've got notifications coming everywhere. Okay, and we're live. So this is episode 36 of Talkin Tech, your semi-weekly podcast from MobileTechTalk. I am, of course, Chris, and over there or down there, or however you look at it, is Mark. Dom was going to be here until he joined the call just before we started, and his mic was cutting in and out, and sounded like you stuck him in a massive hall, put the microphone in the middle, and stood him at the wall. So he dropped out, and he gave us a quick check, and there's nothing he wants to add, apart from something which I'll get to later because it's in the rundown. So why didn't we record last week? Was I on holiday?
No.
No, that was the week. That was the week before. Did we record last week? Oh no, what day? It's Friday today, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh right, yes. We were meant to record Monday, and Dom had no voice. That was it. Oh, my body calendar's just gone to hell. It's too many extras at work. So I don't think Mark's got anything to say before we start.
No, not really.
So I'll jump straight in. So the first one, if you couldn't tell by the name of the title, is all about Android N Nougat. What was it? Nougat 7.0, basically. It is out. And I mean, it is out as in it's being pushed to Nexus devices through an OTA, not in the beta program. Now, last time I checked, which was 10 minutes ago, no, about 5 o'clock. My 6P hasn't had it. I'm waiting rather patiently for it, to the point where I didn't check at all yesterday. But it's got a couple of new features, and I can't remember where they all are. Okay, I will run. Stuff keeps breaking today. I'll go through a couple of them. So the first one of the first ones is the multi-window support. So you can have one window on top, one window on bottom. Clearly designed for tablets and bigger phones. Direct reply. So if you get a notification, as long as it's been done through an app, as long as it's been done by the developers and they've injected some code into it, you can quickly reply without having to open the app. Quick settings has been altered, so when you drag down, you get a load of quick settings instead of having to drag down and drag down again. Where's it? Now has the Vulkan API for gamers, so it's baked in. Daydream, which is not the old
it's
Daydream.
not entirely baked in. If you have a Nexus 9, although the hardware supports it, there isn't drivers for it, and it doesn't have it.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yes, which is very curious, given that part of the reason that Google has given for why various devices aren't going to receive Nougat and never ever shall, including some Sony items, namely the Z3 and the Z3 Compact, even though it had the first full preview builds of Nougat were available for those devices. Google has randomly decreed that to be certified to run Android 7, you must have the Vulkan API driver support unless it's the Nexus 9. In which case they decided you don't actually really need it, but for everyone else you absolutely do. So
I know this is the Nexus, should be the Nexus 9's last official update anyway.
Yes, but it's more that they've screwed Z3 and Z3 Compact, and because it's the same hardware essentially, the OnePlus One. I think. Was it
I'm not too sure.
Oh shit, I can't remember. One of the
OnePluses.
Yeah,
it's the X,
people are pissed, and very rightly so, because Google has just done this to be dicks, and I can't see any other reason. I mean, they've you know, the first 4 preview builds for Nougat were available for the Z3 and Z3 Compact, and you know, with preview number 5, Google has decided, nope, you must have Vulkan driver support. Oh, unless you're the Nexus 9, in which case we'll make an exception.
Which, are we really surprised the Nexus 9 has had an exception?
Well, not especially, but I don't particularly see why Google has suddenly, as of whatever happened between Nougat Preview 4 and Preview 5, decided that Vulkan API is absolutely crucial. Like, why? It's not crucial because you've made an exception. So it's clearly not crucial. You're just doing it to be dicks.
Yeah. Yeah, your notifications also get bundled up. So if you get multiple notifications from the same app, it's going to bundle it all into one notification. And from what I can understand it, you drag on that notification and it gives you all the smaller notifications, which I know some Sony phones have been doing for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
Could be.
I
kind of think this is what notifications did anyway.
That's what I kind of thought. But
so I'm not sure what exactly they mean by this, because if I've got, you know, 5 notifications from Slack or 5 text messages,
it does get kind of
it bunches them up. It just tells me I've got 5 messages. It doesn't show me all 5.
That could be. It may drag them out and then enable quick reply in it. I've not got a clue. Like I said, I've not used it and I've never used a preview. I know it's as simple as saying activate my device, button press, 2 minutes later update, but I can't be bothered. There's a couple of other things. If you want a full list, if you head on over to the link in the description, you'll be redirected to our site for a change. And Jeffrey wrote us a big rundown for it, and everything is towards the bottom in bullet points in italic, so you can't miss it. I'm looking forward to Nougat. Just wish it would hurry up. So on the Google train, there's I know people do remember Duo. It's just passed basically 5 million downloads or installs.
Yeah.
Which I'm really surprised about.
I'm not really. I mean, there's what, 1 billion plus Android users.
It was more the fact of people actually being converted and using it.
Oh, it doesn't say people are using it. It just says 5 million people installed it. That's it. I mean,
but if they install an app, they tend to use the app.
Well, I've installed it, never used it once.
Did I install it? I installed it, realized I had no contacts with my phone that actually had its own installed it again.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So there we go. And last I recall, Dom had it and hadn't used it either. So there's 3 installs out of 3.
3 out of 5 million.
So yeah, I mean, Google Duo is fucking stupid. I don't understand why it exists.
I was talking to a couple of people in another Slack group, and we were all saying, whilst yes, Allo, and I think I heard it on your Android Authority podcast as well, is whilst Allo and Duo are going to be new, so people are likely, was the word that was used, 5 million already have, likely to download it and try it, but it's getting people to ditch, mainly with Allo's case, WhatsApp, and actually go to.
And why the fuck do we need 2 different apps for this? I mean,
yes, why couldn't they bundle it together? In fact,
I mean, to be honest,
why didn't they just sort Hangouts out?
Or why did they not just go back to fucking Gtalk that actually bloody worked in the first place? I mean, to be honest, I don't understand what Google are doing here. This, to me, is that Google has become the new Microsoft.
They're having a midlife crisis.
Well, it's they've become so big, they're so dominant in what they do, that they live in their own magical bubble, and they have no interest in what is happening in the real world. It's not important, so it's just all internal fighting and bickering.
Yeah. So I don't know how many people actually use it, but
I'm going to predict that no one is going to use it, and it's going to be a tremendous flop.
Oh yeah.
Both of them.
I know. Like I said, I've not used it, but with Allo, No, Duo. No, oh, now I'm getting confused. Which one are we on
Yeah,
about?
neither of them.
That's
They're
the other
both.
problem. It gets so confused. So Allo is going to struggle to compete with that. You just know.
Yeah, no, neither are going to be successful at all. So yeah.
So I've got a feeling it's going to get axed.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just a question of time.
Yeah.
And that's another reason that people, I think, are not going to move to it. Because, again, Google, I'm sorry, but you keep randomly killing shit. So why should we trust any of your new products that they're going to last?
Talking about Google axing stuff, that was swift. So if anybody uses...
By the way, Chris, you're sounding slightly Dalek-y. So are you uploading something? Or?
No, I was just thinking you
You're back.
sounded...
You're back.
Literally all I did?
What?
I just touched the VGA cable and slid it aside slightly.
Well, whatever the difference, you now sound fine.
So, Google are axing Chrome apps, and this is going to be done by 2018. Now, don't get your knickers in a twist. They are only removing it from Linux, Windows, and Mac.
Yeah, if you're
honest, it'd be pretty stupid to remove it from Chrome OS.
Yeah, if you're using a Chromebook, they'll still exist. So why take support away from the other platforms? Like, why?
From what I've understood and what I've read around, it's quite simply they don't think anybody uses it.
Well, yeah, but why remove it? It's like, okay, so you think we're going to buy a Chromebook to find out what Chrome apps are like. You not think people maybe might want to test it all like beforehand on their Windows computer that they've already got?
Yeah, I mean, I don't use Chrome apps personally. I mean, I've got a couple installed that I've used. If anyone read my review of Friends, before using Friends, I was suggested to use a Chrome app, but I switched to Friends because it had email support. And I don't really... This is like the app drawer. If anyone remembers, about a month and a bit ago, we were talking about how they were removing the app launcher from Chrome.
Yeah, it's just like, what the fuck is Google doing? They're just at this point, they're doing a Microsoft, they're just dicking around with things for the sake of dicking around. This is an internal politic matter, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, most people prefer, well, I prefer...
again.
Oh, for God's sake, what is going on? I know my laptop's spinning like no tomorrow.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's CPU being eaten.
Well, I decided to just disconnect the monitor and try and save the bit because it is a laptop, so it does have integrated graphics, which shouldn't be a problem soon because I've got a new PC on the way.
Yeah. Well, what is it that's eating the CPU? Because that might be the root of your issue.
I'm just going to open Task Manager. I've got a feeling it's going to say Chrome or Friends. And I'm really hoping it's none of them two. Because it is a nightmare. Okay, so it appears to be Chrome, which cannot be avoided. Oh, yeah, that's sorted it.
It's Google being pissed at our bad mouthing them. They're trying to silence
it was a mix. It was a mix. Nah, definitely Chrome. I closed Friends out, and that also helped bring it down a bit. And then give it 2 seconds later, it was spinning back up, and I've got shit disconnecting left, right, and center apparently. Good job. The microphone's plugging on a different port. But getting back to it, yeah, so it's been pulled. Most people aren't going to bother.
Yeah, nobody uses them.
They're trying to push web apps, is what they're trying to do. At its finest, that is all they're trying to do. They say web apps are better.
Yeah, which is why they're not removing it from Chromebooks.
Because they have not really got an option.
Because no, this is just like, I don't understand. We need somebody from Google on here to explain, like, what the fuck? Why do you keep doing this?
I've got to tell you what, nobody in Google probably knows. You've probably got the top 5 people know what's going on.
Mm.
So I am thinking about getting a Chromebook. Which one yet, I do not know. I was leaning to the Flip, but it's now going to be, what I understand, I'm going to have the 201. It's the one Dom's got, just because they go for about 100.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested. I still want to play with one, I do, but I kind of feel that if it was my own money, I would much sooner buy one of the the HP Stream, basically the Windows ones.
Yeah, I have been tempted by the Stream as well, but it's Windows on eMMC storage, and I've heard that's not that good. And it's also, they only come in about 2 gigs of RAM variants. I suppose you could whack 4 in there.
Yeah, which I do find somewhat troubling, because Windows on 2 gig of RAM is just like, no.
Oh, I've tried that one,
no.
It is horrible.
Although at least the thing with Windows over Android is that at least in Windows you can actually fucking close applications and they stay closed. It doesn't helpfully decide that it's going to re-fucking open everything for you just in case. Which I have to say, the last couple of days I've been getting really fucking pissed at Android for that. It's like, I want to close this app down, and but basically I can't.
Which phone is this on?
Sorry?
Which phone is this on? The 5?
Yeah, and it's just like, there just isn't a way, unless you're gonna force the app from shutting down. The only way to kind of turn something off is just to switch your whole fucking phone off.
Which is annoying as fuck and does eat battery at times.
Well, I don't want to turn the phone off because I want some things to work. I just don't want this app working.
That's not a problem I've been getting, personally. It could be a Nexus 5 thing.
No, it's like, normally I don't particularly mind that things running. There was just an app in particular I wanted to be turned off, and I wanted it to not.
App's been programmed to keep.
It's the way with Android. It just opens fucking everything and runs everything for you. To keep you connected.
Yeah, I know they will also suggesting the idea to make for developers to make their Chrome OS apps or Chrome apps into Android apps as well. But that
this is the thing with
think about it.
With Chrome OS now having Android app support, why would anyone bother or waste 30 seconds writing a Chrome app?
Chrome app, which all they essentially be, like all the ones I've tried, are just wrappers.
Yeah, all you're going to do, if you're going to write an app, you're going to just write an Android app. That's it.
I think, if I'm being honest, the Chrome apps on Chrome OS will eventually get axed as well in favour.
I think Chrome OS is going to end up getting axed the way that Google's going with it.
Yeah. See,
it'd be sad, but I think Google just doesn't know what they're doing.
No.
They're just kind of floundering around.
If they were to get Android apps sorted, the idea of having a full web browser and Android apps in a computer that costs sub £200.
Yeah. Oh, and bear in mind that that's not the only operating systems that Google has.
What am I missing?
Well, the ones you will. There's the brand new one called Fuchsia.
There was someone on drugs when they thought that.
I don't know. Maybe. And don't forget, there is Super Light Brillo.
What the? I'm not going to even.
Which Brillo's for the Internet of Things. It's the operating system your light bulb has.
Yeah. Actually, that one makes sense to me.
Kind of, but this is now that Google is running 4 operating systems. 4.
Yeah, they should just have Android, Chrome OS, and the
Fuchsia and Brillo. And it's like, really? Google, do you need 4 operating systems?
Yeah, that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, so like I said, I'm looking at Chromebooks. The fact that the one Dom has and the one I'm kind of leaning to is fanless as well. that was.
Which I think you have to go. I mean, I think if you get a Chromebook, you need fanless. I mean, it's kind of like the point.
I mean, this laptop I use, refurbed, goes for about 300 quid. If I can get two, I'd be happy. 150 to 170 for a Chromebook and a bit of extra cash. That was, but talking of Chrome OS, anyone think I actually did this sensible for once? They are in the developer channel, you now have pin unlock. Now, if you're not familiar with how you logged into Chrome OS, it will simply your email and password, the way you log into Google on anything. With Android, you do have the option on a.
So essentially, you know, you can use a PIN instead of a password. So it's like
kind of less secure anyway. But if you have a stupidly long and secure password, you kind of can never remember. I suppose PIN is a great idea.
To an extent, yeah. I mean, like, most
or
of
you
my
be like
passwords.
Mark and not have a PIN on his phone at all.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of like, I don't understand why you've been locking your Chrome thing anyway, but sure. Yeah, okay, have a pin on it.
So yeah, that's in the developer channel. So it should see its way into the, I think they call it stable or consumer or whatever. Yes, a little tweak there. And I forgot to put this higher up, but Google apparently has quietly shut down the Device Assist app. Now, when I first read this, I'm still like, what the hell is this app? And if these go by, it's to an app to help you with a certain device that you're using at the time. I've never seen it, nor have I ever looked for it.
No, I mean, reading the article, it's saying blah, blah, blah. It's an app that helped Nexus and Android One users make the most of their device. Well, anyone who's buying a fucking Nexus probably doesn't need a random stupid, app to help you, because they're not morons anyway. So, I mean, this app is aimed at, the sorts of stupid people that go into a car from warehouse and go, "Oh, I want the pretty shiny one."
You've got a car phone warehouse at the minute.
Sorry?
That's what you have a thing for car phone warehouse.
Well,
every time it comes to it, it's always car phone warehouse.
Well, one, because they're ubiquitous. Two, because they're the only mobile phone shop that you can go into that isn't one of the networks. Everyone else is dead. I mean, literally, like, there is no one else.
I think there used to be some like really small ones, but they've kind of.
Oh, I mean, small phone companies, they've gone for a long time. But I mean, No,
I mean like small shops, like small and car phone warehouse.
But yeah, they don't sell you phones and contracts and stuff. So car phone warehouse is basically the shop that you go to. It's the only one left.
Yeah.
And my sister was actually in one yesterday, and she was mightily pissed, very mightily pissed at them. I know this is kind of going off on a tangent, but
sorry. By the way, we'll have it done within 45 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So let's go with the tangent. If you remember IED, which is Car from Warehouse's MVNO.
Yes, I do remember IED. I know a couple of people that use it.
Yeah, some of their SIM-only offers are really good. Particularly, well, yeah, but one that is really good is for £5 a month, they will sell you 5,000 texts, 250 minutes of calls, a gigabyte of data. Yeah, on one of their shock-proof plans. So when you give it to child, which is pretty much what we're all thinking it's for, child eats gigabyte of data in 30 minutes. Child has no data for the rest of the month. Tough shit. They can't run up a bill. That's the whole they do is you cannot
guess where this is going.
run up. So, child wants data to play Pokemon Go, because Pokemon Go is the current rage. Yep, and for $5 a month, that's pretty good.
That is good.
Yeah, it's a monthly contract, so you can kill it at any time. And so, gets a phone call from sister wanting to know if the handset was unlocked, which was the EE Rook, by the way. And I said, yes, I'm pretty sure it is. She's like, okay. And I was like, I thought that plan was online only. And she's like, oh, I have to go because I'm in the shop speaking to the lady. So she was apparently speaking to the lady for an hour.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the members of staff were trying to sell her on a more expensive plan that actually gave less. Because why would you do that? And then when they eventually go to process it, then they go, oh, yeah, you can only do this online. So we can't actually do it. And it's like, seriously, like, do they make their staff pass like idiot tests?
I don't know. I've never worked in retail trying to sell phones. The only bit of retail I do is cleaning in a retail shop.
Yeah, well, I mean, have you ever tried it, like, going into a retail phone shop and asking them about anything? Because it's just like,
I think I normally asked, I went in once with a USB hub, didn't have a power supply. I went, do you have a power supply for this? And I specifically asked for a Nokia small tip, because I knew it was a Nokia small tip. And he's like, no, voltage. And it's like, yes, I already know this. This is why I'm looking for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there must be some like non-morons that work for phone shops.
Not many.
But I'm not sure I've ever encountered one. Except
if you do, please let us know.
The only exception I would say is 3. They don't seem to be pushy at all. They're really kind of nice, friendly, and it's like, sure, if you want that, and they don't then go, oh well, no, if you're looking at this, then why don't you try? It's like, no, I've just said
that hates me. That hates me. I hate that. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if you're looking, I'll take, let's say for example, it's a PC I've got. I've not custom built it, and I know I've paid more, and I've only not custom built it because at the minute I'm covering
lazy.
Like, yeah, I'm covering system work. I'll admit I could spend 2 hours building a PC.
Yeah,
but you get home and you're like, I can't be arsed because I've been at work. So I cheated and had one. I obviously picked the parts and they build it for you. And it was it gives you like a base model and you just adjust that. And in that, it had a 450 watt power supply. And next one down was a 500 watt. And it kind of pushed it. So it had it highlighted slightly bigger for some reason. It said, obviously, whenever you change something, it has how much extra it's going to cost on top of the price that you've already got. And it was an extra £2 to have a 500 watt power supply. So, of course, I paid the £2 because, heck, what's £2? But it was the way it was deliberately bracketed. Well, they're always bracketed, but it was about a font size bigger than everything else. It was +1 or plus however much it was. So it is a thing, and that is how, from my understanding, how retail works anyway.
Well, yeah, but
I think that's how they're trained.
Yes, although I would take less issue if their training actually included knowing something about the products they're trying to sell.
Yes.
That's, I would appreciate that. I get that part of their business is they want to sell you the more expensive thing because they want more money. I mean, obviously.
We're all like that. But if you try and sell something on, I'm going to use Facebook, for example, you're probably going to ask 100 quid. Someone's going to say 90. You're going to say 95 because you naturally want more money anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's they don't seem to know anything about the products that they sell.
No.
That's the issue I have. And, it's not going to be exclusive to phone shops.
Computer PC World. No.
Yeah, I mean, PC World, exactly. It's like the archetypal.
In fact, PC World are like #1. But a lot of Carphone warehouse stores are now in bigger PC worlds, which is quite ironic, I think.
Yeah, it's just sad. I mean, there are so many kind of like, you know, techie nerds that I'm sure would be interested in working for some of these companies, and yet they don't hire them.
No. So, since that killed 10 minutes, the LG V20, so if we've talked about this before, but it is confirmed to have a secondary display. By secondary display, I mean like a very fine strip that sits above the screen.
Yeah. Basically, unless you looked at the specs, you'd never really notice.
No.
And it's retarded, and you'll never use it for anything ever.
If you had it in your hand, you'd notice it.
Yeah.
Because it's quite, there's like a gap. Obviously, for the bezels.
Although, did we skip the Kickstarter or something?
No, I shunted that down the list, didn't I? Okay, I'll get back to that.
Okay.
So it's definitely got a secondary display. We know that. It's totally can get it optimized better for battery, because that second display wasn't supposed to use battery, and reports at the time on the V10, and it was
yeah. The only secondary display I'm interested on the phone is like the Yota phone. I want a fucking e-ink display.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Okay, you're gonna put two displays. That's the second display I want.
Yeah, I was going to say e-ink. Also, whilst we're on the V20, it is now, I believe it. Why does Chrome hate me? It is on my RAM and now it hates me. So it is confirmed from what I've been reading, right, in a couple of places, that the V20 is going to have the quad DAC, whatever the hell that is. Why the hell you need 4? I know what a DAC is, obviously. Why you need 4 of them, I'll never know. And it's
well, technically, it's so that you can use higher bit rates sources. But yeah, I mean,
you really need that phone.
Well, I mean, this is a marketing thing. You know,
as an audiophile, where do you need? How many DACs do you think you need in a phone?
Well, it depends on the quality. I mean, the fact that this is, you know, again, because they're really big with the specs, like the original B&O, they just say 32-bit, and it's like, okay, well, so you can do 32-bit, what bit rate? Because, you know, that's kind of important. But whatever, I'll assume it's high, given that it's 32-bit. Okay, so first off from that, 1, you can't buy any fucking music in that's 32-bit. I've not seen any in existence anywhere. So there's that. No mention of whether it can play DSD files. I'm going to assume it can, but yeah, no mention. And the big one, just because you've got this, like, you know, fabulous DAC in there, and it is some actual decent quality chips, some Sabers. Yeah, but the problem is your phone's so fucking thin that the capacitor size for the amps going to be crap. So whilst DAC might be amazing and, you know, super high quality, the amp sure as fuck won't be. So yeah, I mean, it's nice that they're paying attention. It's nice that they are paying attention to this. However, the V20, it's going to go the same way as the V10. Nobody's buying them. If this had been in the G5, it would have been a feather in its cap.
Yeah, but
it would have been an issue.
The G line is a separate line. Like the G is the series. It's like HTC's was one series. It's the Samsung Galaxy S series.
Yeah, I mean, the V10 was a random weird stuff that nobody bought.
It's a side project. It was if someone got drunk, they were drunk and went, oh, if this does such and such, I'll let you design a phone. You can put whatever the hell you like in it, and however the hell you like, we'll pay for it. It was like a drunk bet. Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, that's fine for a company to, you know, to have this sort of semi-experimental product out there. That's fine, you know, throw stuff out there, you know, work the bugs out so you can incorporate the bits that work well into your next, you know, into the G6. And, you know, and if this comes to the G6, then I think it'll be important and I think it'll matter.
Yes.
But
But
the fact that it's on the B20, it's like, well,
the bit that I find interesting is the fact that this is very similar to the OnePlus 2 is the one I'm going to use, for example, is half of not half, but a good portion of the specs and stuff is being confirmed before the device is even launched.
yeah.
Which I can't understand why companies do. I suppose it's kind of to build the hype, I guess. But obviously, the more you build a hype, and you've got more boots, is it? You've got more boots to fill.
Yeah, well, I've no problem with them releasing all the information beforehand, as long as it's not ridiculously before it launches. Have we actually been given a launch window for this?
I can't remember, I've not seen one, but I do recall it will be the first non-Nexus device to ship with.
Yep. They made a big play of that. And
they
again,
made a play of that, so that tells me
cares.
It's going to be sometime soon.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling it's going to be EVA.
Yeah.
Like, sensibly, I think EVA's next week, is it?
You think so?
I think so. Which, if you didn't know, Craig, Kurt, and Dom are going to EVA, so expect some content. Well, don't expect, you will be getting some content from them. But no, I'm going to guess EVA, just because it makes sense, really.
Yeah.
Am I going to buy one? No. Do I want one? No. Will I be happy to review one? Yes, but don't really give it to me because, let's face it, this has some serious audio in it. Let's give it to Mark.
Yeah. If we get sent one, it'll be coming to me.
Well, we just know it.
Yeah, although, yeah, I'll be surprised if we get one in.
I'll be very surprised. So, I'll do this one now. So, the Superbook. This is one we skipped earlier, but the Superbook. We talked about this twice now. Twice, I think.
Maybe.
Which, if you didn't know, was a shell. It was basically a laptop with a keyboard, screen, mouse, or trackpad, and a battery.
Well, yeah.
It was a dumb computer.
Yeah, it's a dumb laptop. You plug your phone into it. And your phone does all the computing.
Yes. Well, it has reached the end of its Kickstarter, and it did raise some stupid high amount figure. It surpassed its what's the word for request?
Right? The funding, whatever.
Yep, I just can't find a link because Android Authority just put links everywhere. So it has done it. It has got its money. So it's now time for it to deliver. It's only $99, and I think it's going to be up slightly.
Well, it presently is going to be $99.
So it's finally over. They raised two. Was that two? I can't really see the screen.
Well, of their stretch goals, the highest one they breached was the 2.5 million, which was the backlit keys and a 1080p screen option.
Yeah, so they did make 2,952,508.
So like just short of 3 million.
Yeah, because I can't state it.
Yes, because you can't read numbers.
I can do 100,000, and then I just get a bit above 100,000, and I just totally shut down.
Okay.
I don't know why. Yeah, so that's how much they made. They had 16,732 backers. So they've really got big boots to fill. I'm still kind of touring with the idea of getting one because obviously they're going to do the Kickstarter. They're going to ship the Kickstarters out, and then they're going to go on and sell them off again. I'm really tempted, and I was also at the time thinking this could be an alternative to a Chromebook, but then you quickly realise that's a stupid idea. So that's pressed it. I kind of want one. I don't think they'll send us one to review, so I may throw some cash at $99.
Yeah, I mean the price
$120. That's
comes out to. I mean, $100 is pretty damn cheap. And so if this actually comes out at $99,
we allow like $50 shipping to the UK.
Well, yeah,
it's going to be £115.
The final price, are they charging $50 to ship it?
I don't know. I'm just taking an educated guess.
Okay.
$50.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna depend heavily on what the actual price of this comes in at. They are currently saying $99, but you know it's Kickstarter.
The prices always go up after Kickstarter. I think the only ones that don't is Pebble.
Well, the fact that I mean Kickstarter is not a shop. You don't buy things; you invest.
The only exception I would say to that is Pebble. And the only reason I kind of make an exception here is the first Pebble was done so well. For them to then throw the steel at it in the same way and work and go.
But it's still, you're not buying anything. You are investing. That's it.
Yep. So, like I said, Pebble kind of like the only exceptions I get here is because, let's face it, if Pebble can't sort of Kickstarter out,
it's perhaps a more safe investment. Yeah. But it's still it's an investment. This is the thing that I think people need to remember with Kickstarter. You are investing. You are not buying something. You are not buying something. You are not giving them your $100 and they are saying, right, we will sell you this dumb laptop. That's not what it is. Because they're currently saying $99. That doesn't mean by the time they're actually getting around to selling the things.
I think they'll be about $20, $30 dearer. They're not going to be, highly doubt, they're going to be much more expensive.
Yeah, I would like to think that they can make this, they can make that $100 price point. And if they can, it's cheap enough that a lot of people will impulse buy.
Yes. And I will admit, I am hoping to be one of them. I mean,
yeah, I mean, it's a nice idea. The way this is set up, it's a good idea. We want this to be great.
Yeah.
And that's why lots of people have it.
Continue. Look, as long as it doesn't go like the way Microsoft's Continuum did, which, let's face it, has flopped.
Well, it's so expensive. I mean, this is very like, if anyone remembers the Motorola, was it the Atrix, where they sold a similar dumb laptop, but they were selling it for like $500-600.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
I still need
smoking. Like, no.
I still need to power this unless I've brought this phone on contract.
Yeah, I mean, just like the price Motorola was selling it, it was like, but you could buy a real laptop.
Yeah, for that price.
Less than that. You could buy like 3 Chromebooks for that price. It's just unbelievable.
How are things going to be measured now? Chromebooks.
Well, to an extent, if you're selling essentially what is a Chromebook, and yours is 3 times the price, it's like Jesus. I mean, yeah, Motorola was seriously smoking crack. But price is what's going to be crucial to this. If it comes in at $100, these will get shifted. If it doesn't.
Realistically, I see the base Chromebook is about 150 quid. Convert that to dollars is, my phone just won't shut up. Let's toss it over there. $150 is...
It's going to be about 200-ish.
Yes. I literally just converted it. $150 is like £115, just over £114. That's not a lot, considering a Chromebook is, like I said, $170.
Yeah.
So $170 GBP to USD is 1,700. It's about $220.
Yeah, I mean, this will be interesting. I mean, like,
if they can nail the price, they've got, to me, and what I'm seeing, nail the price, you've nailed the product.
Yeah. I mean, and to be honest, I'd be relatively hopeful that they can, because their original Kickstarter funding goal was $50,000.
That's another thing.
So if they were thinking that they could get these for $100 on the back of a just 50,000 order, $50,000 worth, and they've been essentially handed almost 3 million.
Yeah. I reckon if you invested in this, you're pretty safe. But then if you look at Scully, the motorbike helmet, they made some stupid amount, and I think they did it on Indiegogo. And let's put it this way, a lot of people are down money, and I'm talking like $1,000.
Well, I mean, that's the whole point of Kickstarter and Indiegogo. They're investment tools. You're not buying something. But yeah, be optimistic. We all want this to succeed, I think.
Yes. So on the subject of pre-ordering, I suppose.
It's not pre-ordering.
Not pre-ordering. What the heck? What have I been drinking?
Buying things that are giving money for things in the optimistic realms that you might get something back.
I've not got a clue. And it's not even been a long day at work. It was only 3 hours. So I can't think what tangent I was going to go on. So the NFC payment ring is now available to pre-order. Actually, the headline. So if you are unsure on what this is, it is literally a ring with an NFC tag in it. And this is being, all it is you can't assign your contactless card to it, go up to the reader, tap, job done. No phone, no wallet, just a ring.
Yep.
Dom has pre-ordered it. It wasn't a lot, but then again,
it's 40 quid apparently, plus whatever the postage company wallet rates you for.
They are coming in for about 40 quid, yeah.
Yeah, although the bit I particularly like about this is they are actually making proper rings out of them. They are available in proper ring sizes, and they do different models that look different.
Yes, I know. That's the other bit I was going to get to. Different models, different price, and this is a bit.
They look good. I mean,
what I'm seeing here is £15.
Yeah,
which is like 30 quid.
Yeah, which the £15 ones I'm kind of looking at and thinking, is that for like the whole thing? Because that seems like
it seems geeky. Is a term I use.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a couple you can get that. Well, actually, 4 different models that show you the actual NFC circuitry. You can see the chip and the wired loop for it. So, yeah, these are cool.
Yeah, will I buy one? I'm not really a ring wearer, and if I'm being quite honest, I work as a cleaner, so my hands constantly in water.
Yep, though they are water resistant, tested to a depth of 50 meters.
So they would be fine for the average 3 hour cleaning session.
Yep. I mean, they should be able to survive kind of everything.
I mean, I do wear gloves, obviously, but
yeah, normally, though, when you're doing like lots of cleaning stuff, you can normally take jewelry off.
And this is where my problem lies with the Smartwatch 3, which is somewhere is for me at work when I'm cleaning, it's not appropriate. It's a pain in the arse. So that's why I tend to use college. I mean, I've been working more since I'm in the holidays. We've got staff off, and as you can see, I have no Smartwatch 3 on my wrist, and you can look back at, I don't know, a load of the episodes. Just scroll back to where you see my hands in frame. I've had no watch on since I broke up from college. And that's the bit that really pumped. Yeah, that's the bit that
I
really,
still use. I still find them really helpful, because when something vibrates, I can look down at my wrist and I can see.
it is useful, but this is just obviously a problem I suffer with personally. And I mean, I do a forecourt attendance shifts, and to have that watch on is kind of like a little thick, in my opinion. And let's face it, you're gonna look like a bit of an idiot looking at your watch all the time. And my boss is most likely going to clock onto me and they'll say, "Oh, it's got a battery in, you can't use it on the forecourt." Standard stuff like that. So for this to be water resistant, it's kind of think I'd like.
Yeah, I mean, because essentially, I mean, it should be a sealed unit, so it should be properly waterproof. I mean, they say they've tested it to 50 meters. I mean,
50 meters. Who's going to have their ring on 50 meters?
Well, I mean, you don't, unless you're like, proper diving. I mean, 50 meters, like,
That's
you're either, diving properly or you're dead.
You're literally swimming with the fishes or sleeping with the fishes.
Literally. I mean, 50 meters down. That is far. That is properly far. So, yeah. There is essentially no way that you should be able to kill it by water if it can do 50 meters.
No, so yeah, that's Dom's. Like I said, Dom's ordered one. I don't know which one he ordered. I've closed Slack, but I think he ordered the £35 one. It depends what you want. It depends on your looks. I mean, I quite personally would, if it was me, probably order the cheapest one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have to say I'm looking slightly, unsure of the pricing, because certainly the article says prices are set at $53 for the latest model, and the company is offering 50% off the titanium rings. So I don't know. That's almost sort of making me think, like, is the NFC bit priced slightly differently? Is that in addition to the ring?
The way, yeah, it could be. The way I understand it by looking at it is you have the NFC tag and then the ring, and obviously, to me, they keep the NFC tag at the same price.
Yeah,
and it's just the ring that prices go up.
Yeah.
So let's just make the ring, slap an NFC tag, and it's job done.
Well, I'm just skimming through the ordering one. Yeah, it seems to be 30 quid.
Programming. I imagine they'll do some sort of app for your phone where you.
Oh yes, well, I mean, there is already. You can essentially just using your phone write to NFC tags. I mean, that's essentially all it is. This is just an NFC tag that happens to be
use it for other things as well.
Yeah, you could. It just happens to be in a ring-shaped format.
I mean, a good use here would be, let's say you're walking at uni, they have these swipe things.
Yeah, I mean, you could have, say, NFC lock on your door.
Yep.
I probably wouldn't do it on, like, front door of your house. But so maybe like the garden gate. If you want to do that, or
a shared house.
Yeah, I mean, there's various things you can do. Anything you can essentially do with NFC, you could do with the ring.
I know there's this is a bit of a tangent, but there's a chap who went to March of the Drawers one year. I hadn't been to this one; I'd seen it on the website. He actually had NFC implanted into his hand.
Yes. No, I know.
But he did a whole talk on it at March of the Drawers.
Yeah, because NFC chips are actually really small. So there really isn't any reason why you can't. I mean, it's what we do with the dogs.
Yeah.
You essentially, although technically the chips are slightly bigger, and they're not really NFC standard. But I mean, it's the same sort of thing.
Same concept.
Chip, small bump. you know, stick it in your hand or stick it in wherever. In this case, they've stuck it in a ring, so you can just go do, and you can pay for shit.
That only works if you remember your ring. But then again, most people don't take their rings off, so they are bound to remember.
Yeah, usually it's on. I mean, that's kind of the point of, you know, jewelry is.
So,
you know, you wear it.
That's the news done. So, Dom does have the Honor 8, which was released in the US last week, was released in Europe this week. He went to Paris, and he came back with one. I put here, quite literally, under current devices, I put Honor 8, and then I just put Mark's vast collection of headphones. Because I was like, well, how do I ask Mark what he's got? I know. Mark's vast collection. It's an always growing, never ending.
Yes, and there's a whole bunch of companies that I really still haven't contacted after CanJam that I really need to, because I haven't really contacted anyone. Although a company from before that, Phone Audio, they said, "Oh yeah, actually, yeah, we literally put something in the post today for you."
Oh, that's nice.
So that'll be in, and there is also. I'm still pissing about with the Bluetooth Wi-Fi version of the speaker. Having some troubles with it.
I'm going to ask how you've been getting on with connecting that to Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It's been problematic. Whilst I'm sort of loving the concept of the Wi-Fi, and whilst I did want to have it working, whilst it was broadcasting essentially an open Wi-Fi hotspot, on changing that and giving it a password, I've never had it work since.
So it could be a issue then.
So,
how do you issue firmware to the speaker? Is it that gets me kind of asking questions?
Yeah, but I've also had issues trying to wipe it and reset it. It's not seeming to be doing that. But anyway, the people at Bluetooth have sent me a video which I will look at over the weekend, and hopefully that should rectify everything. And then it should be working, and in theory it should be really, really awesome. Because the Bluetooth only version I really quite liked. It was great.
So all you're literally going to do is take your review of the Bluetooth version, copy and paste it, and then just mention the Wi-Fi in it a few times.
Yeah, more or less, because it is otherwise the same thing. I mean, it is the same. I mean, physically, they look, you know, I mean...
I like the design of these as well. Like this,
you know, I mean, physically, if you put the two things next to each other, I would have difficulty telling them apart.
Yeah, I mean, press one button there. But the design that like they use, why do I have to fiddle with stuff and break it?
Would you break?
Okay. I was trying to get it to keep the camera lock on you whilst you had it in your hand, and then when I pressed it, I wanted to get rid of it, and I pressed the wrong button and got rid of myself, and I was like, okay.
Okay, so there's that. The other things that I really need to be getting on with is this.
That's just focused as it's going to be. They look like on-ear headphones to me.
Yeah, the Sound Magic Vento P55s.
Sound Magic. Oh no relation to Black Magic then.
No, Sound Magic. They've been making stuff for years. I've generally always got along quite well with them. I tend to quite like the sound signature that they normally go with. They tend to be quite MIDI. So I will like, I'm pretty sure. And the other thing, which is still wrapped in cellophane. So I don't know if you can see.
It is. I can't quite work out. I can see myself.
Yeah.
It's probably the cellophane is probably reflecting all the light. I think that's the issue. I get high-res audio, something about an offer on Facebook,
Yeah, it is the one more. I'm not entirely sure what their exact name is. Yeah, the company name is One More, and the headphone seems to just be called Triple Driver In-Ear Headphone.
Wow, what a name! What a name! So that's Mark's. Yeah. That's Mark's to file.
Yeah, there's those, plus there's other shit kind of like around that has been sitting for inordinately long periods of time that I have not quite gotten around to reviewing.
So I've got my P9 Plus review at some point. It is written. It is had the camera sample video made. It is all ready to go. It's just waiting to be checked over by Craig. So that should be up soon. I did mention, I don't know if I mentioned it when I came back, but unlike Mark, I have a small pile. I've got these photo lenses, which I will review soon. I might do the earbuds I got, but then again, I might not, which are, anyone think I was professional? And I put the other ones down as well, which are the VTins. I don't know what it's going to, yeah, they focus pretty well, actually. It's the VTin Gourami, that's Gourami. They go on Amazon for about, I think it's average headphone price, so anywhere from £15 to £20. I paid £8 for mine because I like markets. So they may appear, I kind of want to, but it's like they sound, if I'm being totally honest, they sound just like these that Craig reviewed about a year ago, something like that. They literally sound the same. So it's just the feature of them is that it has a magnet. So when they meet, like so, it's supposed to play, pause, it toggles, play, pause, which I have found to actually be really nice. And it's ridiculously strong. I mean, I'm like here, and I can feel it trying to attract. And that's it from me. I think that's it from Dom. Although I will quickly say, if you read Mark's review of the Superbook HD 6068Bs,
yeah, because you might recognise them being on Chris's head.
Yeah. Yes, I brought a set. Literally, as Mark's review went live, he went, yeah, you know, you look at the Superlooks. Yeah, I've just been sent this one. The sound on them is brilliant. It's like cheap.
And so stupid cheap. Stupid cheap.
I mean, I literally paid £21, and that was fresh from China.
Yes, and you paid for the more expensive shipping.
No, I put like £1.20 insurance on it.
Oh, well.
I kept it shipping. I was like, have it tracked or have it insured. Like the insured was cheaper, so I was like, I'm not in a rush for them. They are really good, like ridiculously good. The one thing I will mention is where I've had them on for coming up to 2 hours, and the ear cups are leather, so as you peel it back, you can kind of feel like a bit of sweat around the ear cups. But let's face it, once you put them on, you're most likely going to put them on. So Mark suggested them. I think you gave them a 10 out of 10 for audio.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, essentially, for the price of them, I mean, they're not perfect headphones by any stretch of the imagination. You know, there are vague sort of issues with them, like, you know, one of the things that I tried pointing out to you before, you know, ordering is, you know, from a distance, they kind of look cool, but when you see them up close, they're kind of plasticky. They are kind of cheap. You know, they
are. I'd like to say that, yeah, the arms here feel like what's, you know, like your wire drying racks. Like this, the main arm bit feels like that. Personally, that's what I noticed. And the weird,
yeah, the winglet things.
Yeah, the way winglet things that.
Yeah, I mean, like, if just the simple fact you look at them there, and you know they're both pointing in slightly different directions. I mean, when you get this in your hand, you're not going to mistake it for some, you know, £300-400 Audio Technica
no.
thing.
1850s.
Yeah, I mean, they are cheap and plasticky, but they are plastic and they are cheap as hell.
And they were really like I connected them to the 6P and I put a couple of songs on and I cranked them up and when you get into boosting it's like wow, they are you quickly realise how easy they are to drive as well.
Yeah, I mean, everything about them audio-wise, absolutely cannot fault them. They are so stupid cheap, given how good they are. And I think, I don't know.
I think they came out of the deal. I think it came out.
Yeah, they were present. They were
at the time of the review. They were about £20.
Yeah, although I think sort of once they go back to their full price and all of that, and like they're expensive.
No, I think it's about an extra tenner. Oh no, they're still on the flash sale price of $25. That's probably going to come through because that's the way GearBest load. £20.67p at the minute. The promotion ends in 4 days. It's a 49% discount. So they are £50 normally, roughly.
Oh, yep. The promo ends in 4 days and 21 hours. And they're currently at $26, which works out as when I change the currency over.
It's £20.67p because I have I'm signed into GearBest and I have it set in pound.
Yeah. Oh well, because when I'm writing stuff, I tend to use dollar prices as well. Because
I always change it if there's an option. But no.
Well, yeah, but I flick back between the two because I tend to give pricing information out in both.
Yeah, but they're really good, I will admit. The one thing I did notice is occasionally they can be a little heavy on the bass side. I don't know if that's something you noticed.
I don't think that's something so much about them. It's probably more that there is something in the song that you're not.
Yeah, I did a stuck on it. I could notice the bass. I'd say quite a bit, but then again, it doesn't bother me if I have a little bit more bass. I have a little bit more bass. I mean, just going on the what's the word, like the preview page, Mott rated them a 5 out of 10 for build, a 4 out of 10 for isolation, which I would agree with.
Which one of the reasons I don't love sort of giving numbers to the isolation. More is not necessarily better. It just means more. If you buy an open pair of headphones, which is what they are, well, they're going to be open.
Yeah,
so you don't isolate so much. You know, it's like buying a car that takes petrol and then complaining that it takes petrol.
Yeah. So the comfort, he rated 7. I'd say actually these are bloody damn comfortable. I personally would have gone for an 8.
You've been wearing them for a couple of hours. Wear them for 5 or 6 and see how your ears are feeling.
Probably a bit sweaty.
It's you start to feel not so much the sweaty, but they just feel like you want to kind of raise them off. And to be fair, that's kind of, you know, it's not unique to them. Lots of headphones are the same. Yeah, once you've been wearing them for hours and hours and hours, you take them off and suddenly your ears feel like, oh my God, you know, like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I noticed that, but it's like you said, it's when you take them off.
Yeah. But like I said, you know, you've only been wearing them for a couple of hours. You know, you wear them 5 or 6 hours and see.
I mean, when the PC comes, I might even game with them on. Although I probably have seen myself buying a split cable. So like, because if most phones have the 3.5mm combo jack, let's break it out. It's a breakout cable. It's finest. And I might use the ones that I've got, though I kind of see me using these. And then, so that's the audio quality and value. They were rated 10 in the what feels like less than a year. I actually have no clue how long I've been with MobileTechTalk.
Yeah, I don't normally often.
Yeah, I've never seen anything above like an 8 or a 9.
Oh, well, there's things that have had more. There's things, you know, there's been some 9s, 9.5s. I don't normally like giving 10 because I just don't like in absolutes because it sort of means there is no possible scope for anything to ever be better.
Yeah, that's why I kind of had to change. I will admit, after with P9 Plus, I kind of debuffed. I kind of brought down a score on the Xperia X performance slightly. I think I rated battery doing like 9, and like the P9 Plus just obliterated. So I was like, I've got to knock that down. But yeah, it's just a number. It's literally all it is. The number is like your rough guide, and you know, okay.
It is, and the takeaway from them is for the price of them, and I mean, the fact that they will deliver them, they will deliver to you
in that price as well.
Like for £20.67. Like,
I tell you the bit I have also noticed. You know, when you got yours, was the bag on top of the headphone or underneath? In your photo you've got, it's on top. Mine was underneath. I didn't know if you opened it.
It might have been. It might have been.
I didn't know if you opened it and put it back in just for the photos.
Quite possibly. I don't recall.
Yeah, but no, but you get like 20 quid. You get the headphones. You get 2 cables. You get a little plastic thing to stop you going and pulling the cable out, which is cheap. It's going to be cheap as hell to make, but it's yet so effective.
It's a nice little touch. I kind of like that thing.
And the bag, you get a bag. I mean, I wouldn't really want to travel with these because, like you said, they are open back. But I suppose if you were going,
these are not things you use outside. I mean, they're just not open-backed headphones. Are not things you use.
I wouldn't traditionally use outside. I mean, if you're like Craig and you're going from hotel to hotel, I mean, open back is fine because you're keeping the sound to yourself. And okay, it's obviously because it's open back. I want to use the word leaking sound because to me that's how open back works.
Yeah, but again, in
your own room, it's fine.
Yes, and although I mean, I would say if you're traveling with headphones and you don't want them to be squished in your luggage, well, you buy a proper hard case.
Yeah, I mean, this bag is probably £1, £2. I could probably buy one.
Oh, if that, it'll cost them pennies. I mean, the bag it's kind of but again, so stupid cheap, so stupid cheap.
Hang on a second, in the bag. What's that? Oh, the 1/4-inch adapter. But no, that's the bag, and I mean, you can tell it's pennies, but it's just something.
It'll do.
Yeah, it'll do. You could put it in, you could pull it, drawstring bag, and that way you could, if you had it in your bag, you could find it and grip it really easy and not panic about going and pulling them around. But no, buy them before. Literally buy them at £20. It's the best thing best choice you'll ever make. You know, I said I was a bit concerned we weren't going to make the hour mark.
Yep, we have.
We've kind of gone over. We kind of obliterated them.
Kind of. Although it's kind of turning into headphone podcast.
With the audio file and the one that has no clue about audio just goes, yeah, that sounds okay. So I'm going to wrap it up because we have suppressed the hour mark by...
Yeah, and we also need to, eat food.
Oh, that's a good point. I'm still waiting on my shopping being delivered. I had it home delivered because it was free, and the van broke down. They are 4 at that we found it.
Who's that from?
Iceland.
It's
not very common, the van. It's only the second time of the year that the vans broke down. And
yeah, I've never
they said they are 4 hours behind schedule at 6 o'clock. It was booked for 5. So I've got a feeling it's going to be takeaway tonight. Again.
Oh well. Yeah, no, I've eaten takeaway 3 times this week. I could not
last week.
I came this close to doing it today, and I was just like, no, you live across the road from a fucking supermarket, you lazy bastard.
No, mine was quite funny because I had pizza one day, Chinese the other day, and then I had chippy the day after, and then I can't remember what I had after that. I had something else. But no, so the website is, of course, www.MobileTechTalk.co.uk. Twitter is at MTTFeed.
What have we done with the focus?
Literally, all I did was, because I turned the TV off, so I wasn't looking side on all the time, I stuck it in front on the laptop, and you get back here and it just loses focus. I think it's because the window's behind me. What I think I may have to do at some point is get 2 little eyelets, go either side of the wall, and then get a stupidly cheap curtain to have.
Oh, what you mean is just like close the curtains behind you?
No, because then you can't see at all.
Well, we have these things. They're called light bulbs.
Yes, but my bulb is not that bright.
What happened to your hooker red bulb?
That's the bulb of my light. It's still in there.
Okay. Well, that will work.
It doesn't get bright enough to illuminate the room in that way. Which, in all fairness, when I brought the bulb, I didn't want it to be a bulb in that way. I wanted something with
yes,
remote.
it was just to broadcast your wares to passers-by.
No, but no, I suppose I do have the desk lamp, and that's how I used to. Well, I don't. That holds focus even worse. That's what I used to use when I was in that corner.
Yep.
Which is that whatever corner of the room I was in. Yeah. So Twitter is at MTTFeed. Instagram is MobileTechTalk, of course. Facebook is MobileTechTalk UK, and YouTube and Google Plus, just search MobileTechTalk because
Google Plus, like, if anyone uses it, I mean,
if anyone uses Google Plus. I think even YouTube, you can now not have to have a Google Plus account to comment on YouTube videos. Is that not them screaming, "This is dying"?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna die.
And then Patreon, of course, patreon.com whatever, I don't really care. Mobile Tech Talk. You give us a small amount of money, we make some better shit for you.
Yeah. Oh, we'll try. We might fail.
we try. I feel like I've just drank low steak because I cannot get my words out. And the stone cold honest, that makes no sense as well. Like, all I drank is 1 coffee, 1 Dole Egbert's instant coffee.
That could be a problem.
No, I don't drink 1.
Dole Egbert's not make good coffee.
I don't care. It's what I get at work. And 9 times out of 10, I get to the coffee and it's warm. It's like hot enough to drink. But it's like, I don't want this to go any colder. It is like,
Would you like to know what's really good for coffee?
Brown sugar?
Well, I kind of assume that's a given.
No, I use brown sugar. I'm the only one in my place that drinks coffee.
With refined white sugar.
Yeah. I mean, I could go to the coffee machine and take brown sugar out. I mean, yeah, that's totally an option.
The other things is, instead of using cow juice, 2 options that are both really very nice is either hazelnut milk.
Ugh.
If you like hazelnut, it works in coffee. The other one that is really good, that really works, is Alpro do a almond with dark chocolate.
I know which one you're on about. There is a third solution. Have it black.
Have it black.
Yeah.
In fact,
that's what I used to do deliberately, just to keep it hotter.
Yeah, but no, the other 2 milks, like the hazelnut and the almond with chocolate, both really work in coffee. Very nice. Vastly better than soy milk, because soy milk is fucking disgusting, and I don't understand how anyone drinks it. Oh god, exactly. It's like somebody vomited in your coffee. It's just disgusting.
Right, so I'm going to end it here because we have appeared to have done the outro and then gone for another, what feels like 10 minutes. I mean, Audacity to me is now reading at the 1 minute 20 mark.
Yeah, well, if anyone doesn't want to watch it, I mean, it's not like they can't just hit close tab.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people actually listen to it, which isn't a problem when you're listening, because you have your phone or whatever device you're listening doing something else as well. But when you're obviously on YouTube, you kind of either listen to it through YouTube or you have it on a dedicated screen. But if you're sad enough to watch us for an hour and 20 minutes,
yeah, that's good. Like, call everyone who's just sat through it all, full of sad, right?
I mean, I would have watched anybody for 120 minutes unless it was like an actual live stream. Because 120 minutes is like an hour. Who watches it one unless it's filmed? Or 1 hour.
Yeah, when you say 120 minutes, yeah, you mean an hour and 20 minutes, which would be 80 minutes.
Oh, I give up. Right. So,
yeah, numbers. Chris not good with the number thing.
not good. Which is quite ironic considering he managed to get a C in his maths in GCSE last year.
Okay.
And managed to get an E in English.
Okay.
So we should be back. No, we will be back next week. What day I do not know. And who if I do not know, because it's easy.
Who knows? Maybe Monday, just because.
Maybe we'll get back to Monday. Because
if something thrilling and exciting happens over the weekend, well, maybe do Monday. So that means we probably won't do Monday.
I mean, I think Easter is next weekend.
I can't remember. Everything just like blends the fuck together. Companies sending you the press releases, and it's just like, don't fuck off.
I mean, that's the problem I keep getting. Is obviously I'm working at shift. Is you do a shift, you go home, you're in the next day, and it's like one day rolls into another, and then it's like a week rolls into another week, and then before you know it, a month rolls into a month. 2nd to the 7th of September. So
plus I just like companies when they send stuff, and it's just like, stop fucking emailing me. Just fucking send me the bastard thing. It's just like, it's like you have my address. Just fucking post me it.
Yeah. So that is not next week. Well, it's 2nd to the 7th. That's next Friday till next Wednesday. So we may squeeze Dom in for.
We'll try.
Most likely, I'm going to guess you are going to see us two lovely gentlemen again. But no, that is it. I just look at the clock in the corner and I just think it's 100. It's been an hour and 22 minutes now. It's like, if you've made it this far, I congratulate you.
Yeah, we'll need to like run a competition or something that you only find the answer to at the end. Although, of course, if we tell people that, then they can just skip to the end.
I tell you what, for a one-off, if you have made it this far, and I mean this far, comment wherever the hell you can. I mean, if you're using an RSS catcher like Pocket Cast, come back to the YouTube archive or the comment site on the comment section on the page, and comment links. I don't know, it's like the first thing that I see in front of me. And let us know if you actually made it this far, because if I'm being honest, I wouldn't spend 1 hour 20, that's like 80 minutes listening to myself. And I think Mark's with me on this one.
Though is, you know what you've said, so why would you? Like, I don't ever watch the podcasts.
I still forget what I say, even when I like skip through in stages. I'm like, did I say that? But no, I am going to end it here. We will be back next week. What day? We do not know. Who with? We do not know. That is, as I like to say, the mystery of the show. And I kind of like it because it all rhymes. So, I've been Chris. That's been Mark. And we are going to get our asses out of here.
Yeah.
See you later.
Okay, bye-bye, people.